What's up guys, Mike Build here, back for another quick little video, overview, mini review, whatever you want to call it. So recently I was on Amazon just kind of browsing, and I started looking at these really cheap stick welders, and I kind of wanted to get into one just to try it out because they're so cheap. So I settled on this one. We're going to unbox it. I'm going to lay everything out, show you guys everything, go over the specs, and then we're going to try to weld with it. So this thing cost me a whole whopping $58. They have other welders. A lot of people have tested the other ones that are between like 100 to 200, and those seem to be pretty good. So I was just very curious about how good a, less than 60 bucks, 58 bucks, free shipping, shipped to the house. It took 2 days to get here. So yeah, we're gonna unbox it and give it a whirl, try it out. I also did scoop up some welding rods because I didn't have any. I don't normally do a lot of stick welding, and I'm definitely not a professional stick welder by any means, but I don't know, I'm excited to kind of try this thing out and see if it's worth 58 bucks. So without further ado, we're gonna unbox it and kind of take a look at it. Here we go. This is the $58. They actually have cheaper welders. There's one that was 50, but this one looked cool, so we're gonna try this one. We have the Black Horse Racing. So I went with this one because it said racing on it. So you get your little chipping hammer. Alright, here's the machine itself, and it actually looks pretty good. It's this nice gray color, Black Horse Racing, so it says racing on it. You got one adjustment here, and that's just for your amperage. This is not a TIG welder, this is just a stick, but some of these can also do scratch start TIG, but I just wanted to do stick, so it looks like it's 120 volts. I really wanted the 240 volt version, but this one was, the 240 volt versions are a little more money, so hopefully it doesn't suck with only 120 volts. Oh, never mind guys, hold on. Okay, I lied. This can actually do 220 volts, and it comes with this little adapter to go from the welder plug to a normal style like that, and you just plug these two in. So we will definitely be trying this on both settings, and I'll show you which one works better. Dang, that's cool. I didn't know it did 240. I thought it said it on the listing, but maybe I made a mistake, but definitely does 240. As far as leads go, how good this is showing up. So here's your stick holder. I mean, it's pretty cheap, but it feels like it has a lot of spring tension. Looks like it's got some copper jaws in there. The ground clamp is your standard, very cheap stamped steel. Nothing fancy there. However, if you want to upgrade the ground clamp, they're very cheap. They're easy to buy. I think you can get a nice one at Lowe's for like $10. So we're just gonna run what we got out of the box. So we're not gonna worry about changing nothing. Anyways guys, that's about how long the leads are. They're not super long, but once again, I mean, what do you expect for less than 60 bucks? So it is nice that the leads are removable, so if you do want to switch them out for some higher quality leads, you can do that. But a set of leads will probably cost twice what this machine costs for some nice ones, I would assume. But yeah, I didn't know it was going to be 240 and 120, so that's nice. All right, let's go over the specs real quick. Okay, it didn't really say in the manual what the specs are for this welder, so I went and checked the listing. It says 160 amps, and I'm assuming that's only going to be on 220. And yeah, there really isn't much to it other than that. So now we're gonna plug it in, turn it on. If it doesn't immediately explode, then we might have a winner here. And then we're gonna get some scrap pieces of metal. We're gonna try stick welding. Once again, I am not a pro welder, but we're gonna put some welds down, kind of show you guys that if this thing works at all and what I think about it. One thing I do really like about it is it's really light. And the way they can get these so cheap and so light is because it's all IGB transistor style circuits. So basically there's not like a big transformer in here like some welders have. It's all just digital circuits, so that's how they can make these so small and so cheap. I mean, essentially this is just a high powered power supply. And yeah, so we're gonna get it all hooked up and give it a whirl. All right, so we got it connected to 240, got it going on here. I did hook this thing up to electrode negative, so the electrode holder is negative and the ground is gonna be positive. I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to do it. And we're gonna put one of these rods in there. I'm gonna get all my welding stuff on, but first let's turn it on and see if it explodes. Okay, no smoke yet. Okay, so I just gotta see what these rods recommend as far as amp. These are 330 seconds, so it says about 50 to 70, so I'll go to, I don't know, we'll do 70 to start off. All right, guys, so for some of the welding we're gonna do, I have this bracket here that's just kind of tacked. So we're just gonna throw a couple beads in this angle, throw a couple beads on those little joints there, and then I'll show y'all how it looks and give y'all my little thoughts on it. So I'm gonna set y'all up on the fire kind of like that. Hopefully y'all can see. I've already used a little bit of one rod because I was welding and realized the camera wasn't rolling. That's okay. And we're gonna run 70 amps. Okay, that's pretty good. Here we'll use a little cheap included chipping hammer. All right, now we're gonna switch the machine over to 120, and I'll do it on this side, and then I'll put it on the bench and show you all the results. All right, so we've disconnected the machine from the 240 volt source. We went ahead and plugged it into a 120. And yeah, now we're gonna try some 120 volt welding, because I know some people don't have a 240 volt plug in their garage. All right, I've turned the amperage up to a 90. It does burn a little colder on the 120 volt. I didn't change the amperage the first time compared to 240, and the puddle is a little colder. So I did go ahead and crank the amps up to about 90. Okay, now I'm gonna crank the machine. Now I wanna turn it all the way up. We're gonna turn it all the way up on 120 and just see what it does. Hopefully it doesn't explode. All right, this is 120 at, oops. Wow, that burned right through. Okay, so it definitely burns hot on even on 120. It was able to melt through this probably 1/8 inch angle. All right, I'm gonna get these welds cleaned up and I'll show you what they look like on the bench. All right, guys, so result time. Here's our weld. I don't know how good the GoPro is gonna show it. This is on the 120. We got good penetration. The puddle flowed nice and easy. It didn't spatter really a whole lot at all. I mean, once we chipped the slag off there, I mean, the weld looks super awesome, so very happy with that. Here it is on 120. So the heat was lower with the same amperage setting, so that kind of makes sense. So if you are going to run this on 120, you might need to run it a little hotter than it says. I turned it all the way up on 120 and it blew right through this. So it definitely has enough power even on 120 to do some basic welding. And you know, just based on that and based on how smooth the arc was, I definitely would recommend it for 58 bucks. This isn't really a full review. I mean, time will tell how good this welder actually holds up. But if you're just a hobbyist or you don't have a welder and you just want to try your hand at it, in my opinion, MIG welding is the easiest, but the cheapest machines are stick welders. So if you learn on a stick welder, a MIG welder will be very easy for you as well. But if you just need to build, you know, some fencing or do something very basic, I wouldn't build a bridge with this. But if you're just doing very basic weld repairs or things like that, maybe around your farm or around your shop, you know, nothing too intensive as far as fabrication wise, I think this will work just fine. Or if you just want to get into welding, you're not sure if you're going to like it or not, you know, $58, I don't think you can really beat that. So yeah, you know, the things that came with are a little cheap, but I'm gonna be honest, the fact that you can plug this in and weld for 58 bucks, I know I keep saying that, but it is insanely cheap. And yeah, I really am impressed. The machine worked great. I guess I don't really have a whole lot else to say about it. There's another weld we did on 240. And the fact that it's dual voltage is kind of nice because, like I said, a lot of people don't have a welder plug in their garage to go ahead and plug this in. So, but anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I just wanted to kind of show you guys this. If I have any more issues with it in the future, I'll definitely let y'all know, and maybe we'll do a 1-year review after I put some more use on the machine. If it continues to work and I get, you know, a few years out of it, I think it'll be worth the money. But even as it stands now, I'm pretty happy with my purchase. It didn't catch on fire when we plugged it in. Both modes worked. And yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to say. So thank you very much. If you have questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.